have not come here, what was the purpose of creating other worlds lower down here, these lower creations, especially the creations of the three worlds of the mind? The purpose was that consciousness operates on the basis of being able to experience what is and what can be. Otherwise, there would be no creation. If consciousness says, I can be conscious of something and is conscious of nothing, it's no longer consciousness. Consciousness and experience, the consciousness subsists on something to be conscious of. Therefore, the creative power of consciousness is always at play. It can create the experience of the many within the one. That's the first experience, and that's happening in our true home right now. But then it finds that when you have these opposite experiences, the one and the many are opposite experiences. The one is real, the many is not. But the many makes the one more real. Then you distinguish between the many and the one. The distinction between what is created and what the creator is makes for the experience of consciousness. Therefore, the more you can create situations in which there is more opposites created, the more valuable the experience for the one. Now, to put it in a more physical terminology, because this is not physical terminology I'm talking of, to talk of the power of consciousness to be one and many, and thereby having an experience of consciousness, it doesn't make sense to us here. Here we say, we are so many of us. Okay, we are many. Our reality is our soul, but we are many souls. We are a select number of souls who chose to come here. The experience here is completely opposite of the experience in our true home. We've come into a negative experience. How will that experience become positive if there is no negative experience at all? You will not have any experience of positivity if there is nothing opposite to that. Therefore, the whole principle of creation, right up to here, is based upon pairs of opposites. So this principle of pairs of opposites, which is called duality, the principle of duality prevails throughout creation. And nothing can be experienced unless there's an opposite of it. Look at the experience right here in this world. We see light. Supposing there was no darkness, would we see it? Nobody would ever see. Imagine light would become invisible if there was no darkness. Supposing there's a certain amount of light which whether you close your eyes, you open your eyes, it's always there. You'd never see it. The whole principle of experience is based upon having an experience of the opposite. Supposing there was no hatred in this world, would you know what love is? Supposing there was no unhappiness in this world, would you know what happiness is? If you had no opposite of anything, you would not have the experience of the opposite. This goes down to the very molecular level of creation, where you find that if the positive and negative of an atom is not there, it doesn't exist. If both are negative, they disappear. Both are positive, they disappear. It is the negative electron running to create matter around a positive positron or a neutron. This principle goes down to every level of every type of creation at all levels of creation, right up to our true home. The pairs of opposites is the greatest principle. Now the question is that in the world of the three minds, it's a world of pairs of opposites. It's all a world of duality. But our true home is not a world of duality because there's no time and space to separate it. Then how do you experience there when there's no duality? How do you get the experience there? By the creation of a world of duality here, and that becomes the opposite of a world of duality. So principle of opposite even applies there now. So the purpose of creation, of the three worlds of the mind, the lower creation, is really to enhance the experience of our own true home. And you cannot have that experience unless you have had the experience opposite to that.